Hey everybody, this podcast isn't safe for work or children, or scholars looking to research the concept of infinity. Have a fun time!
Previously on Best Intentions.
Said that they saw Blair standing in some kind of strange light. Next thing we knew, he was on a tugboat and he was gone. I want you to go pay a visit to the Grands and see if they're even worth our fucking time.
Thomas has seemingly lost all of the internals of his leg in a sudden fashion.
Have you been drinking? That's not medically possible. Professor Arnold was actually hanging out outside of our home. He's something of a rival professor to Blair.
I'm also sending you an amulet of some kind. Its inscription reads, "May the evils of this world never seize you."
And whatever it is, I'm gonna shoot it.
I'm pulling out my gun and I'm shooting that fucking rat.
Joe and Ben, you guys are still inside the Grand's home. We are waiting currently for Dr. Turnbaum. Joe, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm leaving the building because I don't want to be here when the cops show up.
Okay, so exiting, do you go out the front door or do you look for like some kind of back door?
I'm gonna go out the front door like a normal person.
Okay. You go out the front door and stepping out, you look around. You don't see a lot of people out and about. And you make a break for it across the street and head into Independence Square. And as you continue moving further into Independence Square, you can see a man who is standing behind a tree who looks like he's watching the Grand's house. As well as you see a few other people who are just enjoying the day, the really nice day that it is, and walking out into the park and taking their families out there. You see a vendor who looks like he's making pretzels and selling it to people. And you also see that there are some people who look a little spooked, but who are kind of minding their own business and just trying to keep on about what they're doing.
Yeah, because they just heard a gunshot across the street. Couple gunshots.
Yeah, they're like, oh, hopefully it doesn't affect us.
Oh, those crazy rich people always shooting their guns off.
Mm-hmm. Because it's the frickin' 4th of July.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you see this guy who's standing behind a tree.
Yeah, I approach him.
As you approach him, he takes a step back and he looks a little spooked and hey, how you doing?
I saw that you were watching the Grand's place. I'm guessing you're with Mordecai?
Yeah, you the two guys who's supposed to do the thing for him. Saw you outside there. Yeah, you had a gun on you, huh?
Look, you probably don't want to be here because the cops are going to be here pretty soon. Or we could just hang out here. You know, one guy by himself is pretty suspicious. Two guys talking at a park is less suspicious. I'm figuring just kill some time talking to you, waiting for the cops to show up, I guess, and not being suspicious looking.
Yeah, so I'm guessing whatever it is you guys did, and you're pretty much done doing whatever it is.
Yeah, we're pretty much done.
Hey, listen.
Yeah?
I'm basically done here doing my job. My job is just make sure you guys actually went in there and did the job. But I don't quite care how it turned out. All I know is I'm a little bit hungry and there's a pretzel stand right behind me, so I'm gonna grab myself a pretzel.
You know, pretzel sounds pretty good right now. How much is pretzels going for?
And he looks over and you can see the pretzel stand. It says Pretzel Logic on the front of it, and it says pretzels 15 cents, and then there's like a grate next to him. It says newspapers 2 cents.
Oh, okay. That doesn't put too bad prices for pretzels. I go over to the pretzel stand with let's call this guy Stanley.
You want to ask him his name?
Hey, what's your name?
Stanley.
I guessed it right the first time. Anyways.
Oh boy, you must be some kind of psychic or something. Okay, let's get a pretzel. I feel like we're bonding.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, I get a pretzel.
Gentleman looks up at you. Oh, hello. What can I get you? I mean, a pretzel, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Can I get pretzel and can I get a newspaper as well?
Oh yeah, I mean these aren't the most recent ones. But yeah, sure. So 17 cents for the two.
Yeah. Here you go. Yeah, I haven't read in weeks, so this is fine.
All right. And he reaches down, and he picks up the paper, and he hands you the paper as he gets your pretzel ready, and he starts, dipping it and putting some butter on it and salting it.
Can I get a little bit extra butter, bud? Just between pals, I like my pretzels extra buttery. All right.
Oh yeah, no problem there. Yeah.
Thanks, bud.
He goes, here you go, and he kind of puts it in this, napkin, and he hands it to you. And then Stanley orders his pretzel. So you got pretzel in one hand, paper in the other.
I'm gonna eat a pretzel and read the newspaper.
All right, and let me give you the handout for that. So yeah, this is the front page on this newspaper. It's dated, it's almost like a week old at this point.
Oh, a newspaper article about Blair Backstrom?
Yep.
Okay, do you want me to read it out loud for everybody?
Yeah, you can if you want. If you want to, yeah, sure.
Jungle Fever, Professor Returns Mad by Veronica Stamp. We here in Arkham are no strangers when it comes to weird tales and odd happenings. It's always disheartening when a profile member of the community like Blair Backstrom returns home only not to be the same person as he left. For those who might not know, Blair is one of the foremost minds in archaeology and anthropology at Miskatonic University. He has made numerous fantastic discoveries, some of which are displayed here at the Arkham Museum. Unfortunately, the story of his most recent expedition will be relegated to rumor and hearsay. One thing is for certain, upon his arrival home, he was not himself. According to the former staff, Blair burst in and demanded that all vacate the premises at once. He then declared that they were all fired. The staff was dumbfounded, and when they pressed Backstrom as to why, they said that he became almost violent. After the firing incident, no one saw or heard from him in nearly a week. Many visitors tried to contact him, but he would answer neither the door or letter. The last anyone saw of him was on a tugboat heading down the Miskatonic River. An eyewitness account also added that Blair was wreathed in some unnatural fog or light as he stood on the bow of the boat. It was something wholly unnatural, said Mr. Terence Mons, a tugboat captain. The way the water moved and wafted about. Evil falls, that man says, I. More logical explanation, though, is that Blair contracted some kind of disease while out on his expedition. What strange affliction had Backstrom become afflicted with? It is no secret that strange and new diseases reside in the exotic locals of the world. It is known that one William Armitage, a student of Miskatonic University, had accompanied Backstrom on his last expedition, had died of a mysterious circumstances. The new exhibition on Backstrom's latest excursion is named the Armitage Exhibit in honor of the deceased and is set to open later this year. The exhibit will be headed by Miss Elizabeth Cano, who was Blair's second during the expedition. As no cause of death has been officially released, we can only speculate at what might have occurred. Could there have been foul play involved? Perhaps Armitage was taken by some yet-to-be-discovered disease. One thing is for certain. Many questions still remain in the case of Blair Backstrom.
So Ben, back to you, waiting in the Grand's home. Joe has left. You are currently all alone. You look into the room. The blood from Thomas has pooled out and around him is soaked deeply into that Persian rug, has gone into the floorboards and is staining pretty much all of the expensive items that they have in their room. And Liza's
still unconscious?
Conscious at this point, actually. And you see her in the fetal position, backed away from the blood, and just feet like near the tips of the edge of the blood, and she's just trying to keep away from it. And you see her eyes are wide open. She's pale, and she's shaking like someone who has been exposed to extreme cold, and she's just not speaking or moving, and she's just like looking dead straight ahead as blood is very slowly making its way towards the tips of her shoes.
Spencer.
Yeah.
No witnesses.
What?
Just one right between the eyes.
Oh.
Just bang.
No. Is she responsive in any way? Like if I approach?
She's catatonic. She's definitely catatonic.
Okay. I just get a blanket and a pillow, I guess, and try to guide her to not look at it. Miss Grand, the cops will be here soon, as well as a doctor. I need you to just Just hang on until they arrive, all right?
She doesn't say anything. She keeps looking, eyes unblinking, as you just pick her up and guide her and like moving just kind of a puppet of a person.
Just trying to get her to a chair or something, just not on the floor. And then after I do that, I want to go to the back room where Thomas had done some paper rummaging and came out with a interesting thing. If I go back there, what do I find?
So going back there, you open the door to start. Well, you start with just like opening doors and like kind of like looking around. You do find a room which has various different types of inks, some kind of press, lots of blank papers, and several notebooks and different kinds of checkbooks as well.
Is there enough information here to clearly demonstrate to Mordecai that this guy's been fudging his accounts?
There's different kind of bank statements and different stipends that you can find. And the checkbooks, there appear to be 5 of them.
Okay, so there's 5 different checkbooks. So there's different ledgers that denote different numbers.
And for different accounts for different names, but all like kind of varying variations on the same name, basically.
I grab those as well as any other quick supporting documentation and, throw it in my trench coat pocket.
Okay, so you start to kind of stuff this evidence into your pockets and carrying what you can't fit and putting in your pockets what you can. As you finish up that, you hear a knock at the door.
I go and answer it.
You see Dr. Turnbaum standing there. He takes his hat off. So what strange affliction is Mr. Grand contracted?
Dr. Turnbaum, you're mentally prepared for this, right?
Yes, I am. Just show me to the patient so I can properly assess this.
All right. There is a lot of blood. Just be ready for that.
I've seen blood. I've seen lots of blood.
It's literally just right around the corner. I take like 3 or 4 steps back and gesture around the corner with open palm.
Oh my god.
Yes. All of the internals, all of it, just gone. I don't...
Wait. And he goes over there and he walks through the blood, bends down and he says, "You said it was the legs?"
It was the legs, yes. As you can see, there's nothing left.
He rolls up the pants leg. This is
Unheard of, yes.
And the wife, is she uninjured or?
Physically, she is uninjured. Her mind is, I can't describe it any other way other than ruptured. She is unresponsive.
Well, I'm not a psychologist, so we'll have to have her be looked at by my. He looks at you. Well, mark this up for something for the history books and the medical books.
I suppose. Dr. Turnbaum, there is an investigation going on. I called you because I know you can keep some interesting things under wraps. I am sure the cops will arrive anytime soon. There were a couple of gunshots to... Well, it might not matter if I tell you what it was, but just know, when they ask questions, you need to keep this sounding as if it's a rare disease or an interesting syndrome that can happen. Whatever you tell them, just don't tell them about me, and don't tell them that it is, well, supernatural in any kind of way.
Listen, I want to keep my license, but you know what the secret is to bullshitting? Confidence. Right, well, you still have to find Blair. Being tossed in jail would definitely put a damper on that. No promises, but I'll do what I can.
Thank you, Doctor.
You should probably get out of here then.
I go to shake his hand.
It's bloody, because he had to look at the leg and everything.
I retract it.
Just get out of here.
Yes, Doctor. And I go out the back door.
As you're going out the back door and you go into the kitchen, You see that there's been like some hastily, like you find even more documents that look like they've been hastily put away into here. You see a well of ink which is spilled over and like kind of ruined. Definitely the countertop and then some of the other documents. But I don't know if you want to grab anything else in here.
Yeah, quick look at that and whatever, if there's any more like supporting evidence. Is there anything like addressed to Mordecai or his men or anything like that that hadn't been delivered yet?
You do see one check which it has been addressed to Mordecai, which hasn't been cashed yet. Looks like for the sum of $200.
Yeah, I grabbed that one.
That one is under the name of Thomas C. Richards.
Of course it is. But yeah, I grabbed that one and I dip out the back door.
All right.
Take sort of a wide way around and then hit the far edge of the park and walk back towards where Joe is.
And as you're walking back towards Joe, you can see all the police vehicles kind of rushing towards the Grand's home. It looks like there's about 4 police vehicles as they all park out in front, and then you see police start to hop out, and then one kicks down the front door, and they just kind of rush in.
Oh, they didn't even bother to knock, huh?
Nuh-uh. They said knock, knock, and they kicked the door down. But you, as you're walking down, you see Joe with another man who you don't recognize, and they're both eating a pretzel, and Joe's reading the newspaper.
I walk up. Joe and friend.
This is
Stanley.
Stanley.
This is Stanley.
Yeah, he works for a mutual friend of ours.
Why does Mordecai feel like he's got to keep an eye on us on every step of the way?
He just wanted to make sure that you did the job. You didn't try to skip out or anything. It's not that, not saying that he didn't believe that you do the job. It's, just keeping tabs on things.
I have never let Mordecai down in the past. I don't know why. He doesn't trust me for this one, but either way. We're heading back there now. Do you want to ride?
Yeah, I could use a ride. I could use but beats walking.
Right. You get shotgun.
What? Why does he get shotgun? I want to ride in the front. I'm a big boy.
I want to, flick my coat a little bit where there would have been a will earlier and see if he can kind of, understand what I'm getting at with this sign language.
I want to ride in the goddamn front. I thought we were partners. Whatever. Fine. I'll ride in the back like a goddamn child.
I'll buy you an ice cream.
Yeah, pay for another pretzel. Get me another pretzel right goddamn now.
I eyeball him, and I buy 2 pretzels, one for myself, one for him.
Okay.
Better.
A little.
And take a bite.
Not much.
Oh, good. I'll tell you later. Fine. And we go over to the car.
Right. So you guys walk around, get to the touring. You guys get in the car?
We get in, we go.
Right.
And it's very important that the other guy had shotgun because I had hid the will underneath the back seat. And so I open up the door for Joe and tap the seat where he knows I hid the will. Maybe he gets this sign.
Oh! Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, I wink at him really. It's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, but it looks like I'm just being snarky. I get in, we go.
All right. So you guys go ahead and to make your way back to Mordecai's hideout. Well, more like his bar. So you make your way back over to Mordecai's bar, park out front. You guys exit the car, do the little knock. Walk downstairs. It's empty because it's still daytime. No one's there. It's just a few people there cleaning up the bar, sweeping up. They have the chairs put up on top of the tables. You see Mordecai looks like he's doing finances. He has his glasses on, and he has this gold coin between his 2 fingers. He's just kind of tapping on the table as he's trying to do calculations in his head. And you can also see Leroy Brown is standing behind him, just kind of keeping watch, and gives you guys a dirty look as you walk in.
Oh yeah, it's been a bit since we recorded. I forgot about that.
Ben, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna be on the top of my game. My tummy hurts. I had too many pretzels.
Or whiskey. You've been chugging that stuff for a while.
I've been dipping my pretzels into whiskey.
It's not the whiskey. Don't you goddamn dare blame the whiskey. It's the pretzel's fault. The whiskey's my friend, goddamn it.
I had him put on too much butter. There was too much butter on the pretzel.
I guess I look at Joe, I look back at Brown, and I look to Mordecai. Mordecai.
He doesn't look up at you, but he's still just kind of... Well, just take a seat, Harris. Just take a seat.
I take a seat, and I put, the stack of evidence down in front of the table where I'm at.
Kind of looks up and he grabs and he's kind of reading through the checkbooks. Thomas S. Whitmore, Thomas T. Geiger, Thomas I. Lewis, C. Richards, K. Flanders, Z. Burton. Well, looks like they've been busy.
Mm-hmm. The cops did show up at their residence.
Oh, yeah?
And I covered for you on that one, too. And I slide the check that was addressed to him over. Your name's not tied to it anymore.
Looks at it, holds up the light to it. Right, well, looks like you held up your end of the bargain there, Harris.
Got you $200, too. That one should still cash.
Hopefully it does. Mr. Brown, please send some men over there and contact some of our contacts in the police and have them start repossessing some of the assets that the Grands have, and so that way they can start paying us back our proper dues, eh? And then Brown nods and leaves.
Thomas is no longer with us. It is only Liza at this point.
Did you fucking kill him? Gee, oh man, I just told you to go down there and get some evidence. You killed the guy.
I didn't kill him.
Alright, I just like giving you a hard time. So how'd the poor bugger pass away?
Not well.
What, heart attack from finding out that his lies have been uncovered?
No. O'Leary, the problem. It's getting worse.
Starts tapping his gold coin on the table a little bit quicker. You know what? Fuck. I don't want to hear it.
I know you don't.
I don't want to hear it. Okay, let's just say our business here is concluded until the next time I call you. Still have one more debt.
I'm sure. You mind answering some questions before I go, or at least one?
You can ask me some questions. Won't promise I'll answer.
Mr. Baxter, Adam.
Uh-huh.
Was it your men who broke in, burned letters, or stole an amulet?
No, it wasn't. I did hear tell about that job. It was he's a bit of a freelance thief, burglar.
What's his name?
A chap by the name of, William McCoy. Or Willie McCoy. Some people call him Slim.
William Slim McCoy.
Aye.
Any idea who hired him?
Well, if I had to guess, don't usually ask about who gets hired. Just ask that they pay me my due when they do a job on my turf. He did, and so I didn't bother him. But if I had to guess, I'd probably say it is our deceased party.
I might end up giving this McCoy a visit. Thank you, O'Leary.
Yeah, you're welcome. Are we done here?
I think so.
Good, I got all these frickin' bills to go over. Government's wringing me dry. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Trying to run a legitimate business over top illegitimate business, and it can get somewhat tiresome.
Mordecai, you don't want to see further issues, correct? With, we'll call it the supernatural?
Not messing around with that stuff. You open up a whole Pandora's box of shit. No, I'd much rather not get involved in that again, Harris.
If it comes to a point where I need manpower to keep whatever this is under wraps, do you think I could count on you?
I'll think about it.
Fair enough. Not something to involve oneself with lightly, I suppose. Thank you, Mordecai.
Just kind of nods his head.
And we leave.
Ben and Joe, you guys exit Mordecai's. You guys get back into the touring, and Joe, you sit in the front seat, your rightful position in the front seat. You guys close the door. What do you guys do from here? What kind of conversation do you have from here?
Ben.
Yeah.
I was able to buy a newspaper at that pretzel stand, and I think you want to check out this article.
What? This one?
Yeah, the one about the jungle fever. Professor returns mad.
I start reading it, and after a minute, okay, this is stuff we already knew. Never mind public rumors.
Well, it's the interesting part is the author of the article, or the reporter. Veronica's stamp.
What about her?
I just so happen to know her.
Yeah?
Done some kind of similar work for her that I do for you. Wouldn't hurt to ask somebody who's a week ahead on the investigation than us for some information.
All right. We drop off the will. We call Veronica from there and have her meet us at the university, because there is someone we need to see at the university.
The exhibit's headed by Miss Elizabeth Kano. I think it would be a nice idea to talk to her and ask her what's going on. She was with Blair on the last expedition.
So there's 2 reasons to go to the university. Let's go back, drop off the will. We'll call your contact from Adam's estate. From there, we'll head over to the university and talk to Blair's former colleagues and rivals. Your contact can meet us there. Perhaps she's good at questioning people, interviewing, we'll say. Does that sound like a plan?
Sure does.
All right. Let's get to it then. We're burning daylight on this. Start up the car and we go.
All right. So leaving Mordecai's hideout, you guys drive down to go to Adam Backstrom's house. You arrive, park just outside the front door, and you knock. Opening the door is Helen Victoza, his nurse. Looks at you two.
Hello, Miss Victoza.
Oh, hello. Ben and Joe, right?
Yes.
Why don't you two come in? Adam he's asleep right now. I'm just waiting for a Turnbaum. He's supposed to be showing up in a few hours today.
Hopefully he's not delayed in any kind of way. We do have the will for you, and it is safe to leave in your care now. The mobsters that were involved shouldn't bother you any further.
Well, that's a relief to hear. That's amazing. Do you boys want any coffee?
No, thank you. We're only here to drop off the will and ask a small favor. May we use your phone?
Oh, of course. Come in, please.
Thank you.
She leads you guys in. She closes the door behind you, and she phone is right there, and she points over to it as it's mounted in the wall near the living room, near the living space. Go ahead, make as many calls as you want. I'm gonna put this in a safe place and go check on Adam.
Thank you. Joe, if you want to make contact.
Sure.
Operator,
Yeah, can you put me through to a Miss Veronica Stamp?
do you know where she resides?
Let's try the Miskatonic newspaper.
All right. One moment, please.
You hear some switches being moved around. Then you wait a couple of minutes. You hear her on the other end.
Hi, this is Fred Durst, Miskatonic Newspaper. Who is this?
Hi, this is Joe Wheatley. I was looking for a Veronica Stamp.
All right, hold on. Stamp! Phone! Hi, this is Veronica. Stamp. Who's this?
Hey, Veronica, it's Joe Wheatley.
Oh, hey, Joe, how's it going?
It's going okay. It's been a bit of a rough week,
All right.
but I've definitely had worse. So I saw that you were reporting on the Blair Backstrom case.
Oh, yeah, you read that? Yeah, I did a little piece a week ago. Why?
I'm with a private investigator that's been hired by the family. We're looking for some information.
You guys looking for the old guy? You guys looking for the geezer?
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're hoping that he's still alive, but things aren't looking so good. We could use some direction if you're willing to share some notes. Maybe anything that we find out we can, share with you.
Yeah, no, I'd like to put a close on this story here, tie it up with a neat little bow. Where you guys at right now? I could probably meet you up in 40 minutes or something.
Well, we're heading out right now, but you can meet us at Miskatonic University. That's where we're going next.
Miskatonic University. Okay, yeah, I'll be there in like 40 minutes.
All right. She'll meet us there in 40 minutes.
Sounds good.
You guys know the Aston Field House in University? Well, if you don't, you could probably find a map of it. I'll meet you guys outside the Aston Field House.
You know me, Veronica. I'm not the most learned type. But I'll find my way around. The field house?
Aston Field House.
Aston Field House. All right.
Yeah, find a map, find the place.
All right, I'll meet you there.
All right, I got some work I gotta finish up here, and then I'll meet you guys there. Exciting stuff.
Looking forward to working with you again.
Yeah, me too.
What, no love you buy?
Ben, I was thinking about asking her out one of these days, but it's just been strictly professional relationship, and I don't want to fuck it up, so, And it doesn't matter. Let's go.
We say goodbye to Miss Victosa, and we head out towards the Miskatonic University.
All right. So, saying goodbye, she wishes you two well. You get in the car, and you drive to the university, which isn't that far away from Adam's house. It's just a little ways up north, so you guys will get there well before Miss Stamp arrives.
As we pull up to the university, we go through, I imagine there's a reception desk or something.
No, there's some parking spaces. I mean, it's just like open area parking. You park, you get out of your car, and you can just like walk right on campus.
Okay.
You see students kind of going about their business. Some are hanging out in like this nice big green grass area, tossing a football back and forth, laughing. One student's running with some books, trying to get to a class, and just general like normal university activity.
I ask around. I don't know if we need to have whole scenes, but I ask around. Do I find out where Arnold Sutton teaches? What building he's in?
So you find out that he teaches in the Jonathan Edwards Hall. And then asking around a little bit more, you find out that he's actually currently in the Charles Tyner Science Annex.
I thank whoever gives me the information, and we head out to the Charles Tyner Science Annex.
Right.
As we're going there, Joe, this might get a little fisticuffy.
Okay, I'll bring the pistol.
Yeah.
Won't get fisticuffy if I bring a gun. I'll get more shoot-bangy.
Yeah, let's go interrogate this mild-mannered professor at a university and bring some guns, just in case we have to shoot this guy.
So we head out towards the science center. We get there.
So, walking in, you are roaming the halls a little bit, peeking into each room. Most of the doors are locked, but you can see one door that is open outwards into the hallway, and there's some light coming out from it, and you see like a shadow move as somebody walks past the light.
I look in that room. Does it match the description of Arnold Sutton?
It does. You see a man with red hair and a red beard in a light brown suit, and he's currently leaning over some artifacts or other various things, and he seems to be cataloging them. He's writing everything down in a book, and he's putting a tag on it and then writing a name on it, and he's just kind of doing some basic cataloging at this moment. You see inside the room, there are several tables in the middle of the room, and the rest of the room is lined with these very tall bookshelves or cases, and you can see there's various different things that are set on them, some jars, some books. You see some display cases set up, and they're all just kind of encircling the rest of the room, and you can see that they're all numbered, kind of like a library, like a little Dewey Decimal System as each one's numbered, and you can see there's a plaque on each one that says what items these are for.
All right. Arnold Sutton?
Yes. What can I do for you two? Don't look like students.
Seems we found the right guy, Joe. Yeah, we walk in. I've been hired to look into a disappearance. You know, or knew Blair, is that correct?
That is true. I did know Blair. We were colleagues at one point in time. So they are investigating his disappearance, then?
That is correct. And I'm, kind of looking at the various jars and kind of scanning the various books. What am I seeing here? Is it like body parts?
No body parts. There's one shelf which is completely dedicated to insects. So you see, some of those insects that are dead and kind of in those jars, and there's some preserving liquids in there. Other a big board of butterflies that are all stuck on. There's another one you can see broken old urns and some different illustrations or depictions. There's just one that's for art. There's one that's for Egypt. You can see, it says Egypt at the top, and there's different types of replicas of canopic jars. And then there's one that's, a lot of these are actually look like they're replicas or placeholders for things. And then on the tables themselves, you see several different papers. And then he has, a mat laid out, a soft mat. And on each one of those mats, he has these different amulets of varying shapes and sizes, or jewelry, rather. Some are necklaces, some earrings, and then there are some that are just kind of some regular rings, some kinds of piercings that are all spread out among it.
Do any of those match the description of the amulet that Blair had attempted to send to Adam?
You do see an amulet on there there's a green stone teardrop amulet that has some writing and an inscription on it.
Does it say may the evils of this world never take you on it? Or I guess that probably wouldn't be in English, huh?
No, it's not in English.
What language is that in? Or do I see one that says that looks like it might? I don't know. This green one, I'm gonna analyze it.
Okay.
Do I need to roll something for analyzing it, or does it just fit the description?
So you're just gonna walk past him and start looking at the amulets, or?
I will be speaking while I walk past him.
Okay, what do you say?
It's my understanding that you and Blair didn't quite get along.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't see eye to eye, and all the accusations he made about me didn't exactly help either. I think he was just a little jealous of somebody who could academically challenge him. Please don't touch those without proper equipment. They are very old, and you could damage them. So please, please don't touch.
I look at the one that fits the description that was supposed to go to Adam.
Mm-hmm.
I point to it. What about this one?
Oh, yes, that is a very interesting find. I found that myself some time ago when I was doing some work up in Sweden, actually.
Sweden?
Mm-hmm.
Not South America.
No, I actually haven't done any expeditions in South America yet.
This is a pointed question. Can I roll, I guess, psychology to see if he knows what I'm getting at?
Sure.
That is a 52 over 69. Regular success.
Okay. You definitely get the feeling that he's hiding something. Joe, what are you doing while Ben's doing this?
I'm looking around, keeping an eye open, seeing if there's anything sneaking about.
Okay.
Go ahead and do a spot hidden for me.
Okay. That is a 20, so it's a success.
All right. So looking around the room, kind of on the far end shelves, you do see some jostling of other jars and papers and books. You see them shift slightly.
I make note of it, but I'm not going to pipe up quite yet.
All right.
What do you think it says on it there, Sutton?
Well, interestingly, the writing itself is written in Spanish. So, he kind of points to it. So if you read it, it says,
He puts his glasses on. He pulls it up and he says,
so it says, que los males de este mundo no te domine, which means, may the evils of this world not seize you.
May the evils of this world never take you, I believe is perhaps a more literal translation. Professor? What are you trying to hide behind this amulet?
I'm sure.
We can cut the crap. Why'd you steal this from Blair?
he seems taken aback by the sudden aggressiveness.
I didn't steal this from Blair. I've told you I found this in Sweden on one of my expeditions. What the hell is this? I mean, you come here and you to accuse me of theft? You sir.
We have eyewitnesses that say that you did steal this thing, a letter that says that it was supposed to be delivered to Mr. Adam Backstrom. I know that you two didn't see eye to eye, and I will remind you that rummaging through somebody's mail is a federal offense.
I'm telling you, I didn't steal this. So,
I suggest you look for Blair rather than chasing red herrings and frivolous clues. If you would please leave me to my work, I would very much like you to vacate the premises and so I can get back to work. I'm telling you, right now, I have no knowledge.
I would like to roll psychology again.
Okay.
I'm trying to read between the lines here.
Okay.
That's a 4 over 69.
You get the feeling that there's some sense of guilt in there, as well as him trying to hide something. So you do get the feeling that, yeah, he did steal this, and it isn't his. And he is trying to get you guys out of here because he doesn't want to deal with you people.
This is not your amulet. I will be returning it to its proper owner.
No, he goes to kind of step in the way between you and the amulet. Joe, as you see this starting to happen, you see a little bit more of the rustling going around on the different shelves around you.
Do I see any rats, or do I have to do another spot hidden to maybe see any rats?
No, you do see a tail, you see a rat-like shape, and you see multiple of them. One going on the left side, one going on the right side. And then some others are staying a little bit further back. And then...
Look, Professor Sutton, there's forces at play here that you don't quite understand. They're here now. The last guy that fucked with these things didn't make it out all right.
He looks at you while he's like still kind of stepping in the way of Ben.
What the hell are you people talking about? You sound like a bunch of crazy. This is insane. Come in here and...
We don't have time for this. I punch him.
Oh, you just sock him?
Yeah, clocking him out of the way.
All right, go ahead and just, make a roll. You're fighting, and give yourself a bonus die to this since he's distracted.
Fighting brawl. 29. Oh man, it's 1 point away from hard, but it is definitely a success. 29 over 57.
Okay. Yeah, you just clock him right in the face and he goes right down. And you can hear him like hits the ground with a pretty heavy thud.
I grab the amulet.
All right, you grab the amulet, and as you grab the amulet, suddenly the power in the room just goes out and everything goes dark. And you guys both start hearing that thumbing, rhythmic chanting one more time.
I put on the amulet.
All right. You can see that aside from also being punched in the face and being hurt, he's now rubbing his face as he's starting to slowly get up. And now he's also kind of rubbing the small of his back. You can hear him starting to kind of grunt in pain as he's grabbing the small of his back. And you see the rats starting to move, and they're all like looking down at Arnold right now.
I put on the amulet. Does the chanting stop in my head?
No, the chanting doesn't stop in your head, but you kind of get this weird feeling, and you grip the amulet tightly, and you're not sure why you do it, but you just kind of like hold on to it, and just make a POW check.
That's a 16. That, for me, is exactly an extreme.
Suddenly, the chanting just kind of stops, and Arnold is still holding onto his face, but he stops touching his back. And then you hear just this crashing of bottles and the smashing of other items as they're falling off of these shelves as the rats suddenly start to come down. Joe, you can feel a couple of them starting to climb up your pants leg.
Oh, Jesus.
And Ben, one is able to get behind you and then jumps onto your back. You can feel like its little weird human hands trying to untie the amulet off of your neck.
I grab that one and throw it? Just throw it as hard as I can.
First, make a fighting brawl to try to grab it.
That was a 16 again. That's a hard fighting brawl.
Yeah, I'll say this is like one big... This is kind of like a double thing. So this will count as... What's your throw?
My throw is 20. It's not trained or anything. It just is what it is.
All right. Yeah, so it's just like one fluid motion. You grab it, you just chuck it across the room, and you can hear it kind of like smashing into different bottles, and you can see like some things kind of like collapse in on top of it. Joe, they're starting to climb up your pants legs, and you can feel one is like kind of like ducking up underneath your pant leg too.
Gross. How many are on me?
Right now you have two. You have one underneath your pant leg, and then one's like climbing up the front of your pant leg.
I'm gonna punch the one that's closest to getting to my personal area.
Okay. So, gonna make a fighting brawl on that.
43 under 45. Okay, so that's a success.
Okay, and you just punch this thing. You can feel... Yeah, you definitely killed it, but it feels like something kind of popped, and you can feel like warm, gooey liquid like running down the back, like running down like your leg.
Ugh.
I cannot keep a clean pair of pants, can I?
You cannot. Alright, so as you guys do that, rats are gonna go ahead and do their thing. One rat, like, as you can see, like kind of like hopping from table to table as it's making its way towards you, Ben, and it's going to leap up, and it's gonna try to go ahead and grab onto the little rope that the amulet is connected to.
Like the string around my neck?
You have a little string around your neck. And as he tries to...
Can I dodge?
Yeah, heck yeah. Go and roll dodge.
I will roll dodge. Dude, it's a 9.
All right, yeah, so you dodge right out of the way, and it like jumps past you and then lands on a different shelf. You can hear it like kind of slide as its like feet can't get a grip, as the other bottles like start to like clatter and like fall off the side of it. And then the whole bookshelf itself like falls and kind of tips over and lands and crashes onto the table in front of it. You can see like Arnold just kind of has his head over it, his hands over his head, and he's just kind of curled up and trying to get under the table for safety as he has no idea what's going on. Joe, the one, as you just like punch down and you smash it, the one climbing up your pants leg, grabs onto your hand, or like moves up to like where your hand is, and he's gonna try to bite your hand.
Oh, damn it.
You can also try to dodge, like meaning like jerking your hand out of the way before he gets his teeth into you.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull my hand back and just like kind of try to fling it away if it grabs it. How good is my dodge? I just rolled a 49.
Spend some luck points.
You have 13. Yeah, my dodge is 30, so it grabs on.
So, it is going to bite you here. Luckily, there's only 2 points of damage, but it gets a pretty good grip. It actually gets a little bit of your pinky in its mouth. And as described before, it's actually a human head popping out, and so like you actually can feel like it feels like a tiny, very, very tiny person biting your finger. And you can hear this like crunching noise as it's almost kind of bitten off your pinky, but not quite.
Oh, God.
God damn it, I need that pinky.
And it's just kind of like hanging on. And you like lift up your hand and you can just see like this weird rat thing like still holding onto your pinky as you're like shaking your hand off. Okay, going back over to you, Ben. So the one just jumped and missed you and like landed into that bookshelf, which knocked it over.
So one tried to undo the string once, and I chucked it.
Yeah.
Another one went for my neck again, and I ducked it. These things want the amulet, is what I'm gathering from this.
Yeah, it's very clear they're trying to get this amulet.
Even though it's tied to my neck, I grip the amulet in one of my hands, and I pull Sutton out from under the desk. We don't have time for this. How does it work?
He looks at you, he's like, what the hell are you...
How does the amulet work, Sutton?
He's like holding his side of his face, like, what the hell are you talking about? It's just a stupid piece of rock.
The rat things, do you not see them?
He's like looking around and it's really dark. He like looks over at Ben and you can see like a rat that's still like hanging on to his hand as Ben's like shaking his hand frequently. He's like, it's just some... And he's just like way too flustered right now. As you are holding on to Sutton.
I throw him back.
All right, you just kind of like let go and just kind of like, ugh.
Yeah, it's sort of like a fucking worthless, right? And I throw him back.
Yeah, it's not really an attack. You're just kind of like letting him go. And
It's like a shove. And I turn to face the rat things.
All right, so you turn around to face the one that jumped behind you. Go ahead and make a spot hidden as you don't see it anywhere right now.
God, I'm rolling hot. 27 over 60. This is a hard check.
So, like, looking around, you're looking around frantically. It is dark. It's kind of hard to make things out, but you can just barely see what looks like the back end of the rat as it, like, ducks into a hole into the side of the wall.
Okay. I see that one go into a hole, but I think it's worthwhile to say that I face the others that are, like, dealing with Joe.
You turn and you look at that, and you turn around and you look at Joe, and Joe still has the one rat on his hand.
If I can still act, I will try to grab the one on his hand and just crush it there.
No, the spot hidden was kind of like your action.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so I'm seeing all this stuff.
Yep, so you're seeing all this stuff. Back over to you, Joe. You still have this thing gripping onto your pinky. You feel like if it gives like one more good bite in, you're gonna be down a pinky.
Yeah, I'm gonna smash it against like a table or something, whatever's close by.
Go ahead and just because it's stuck on you. Go ahead and roll with a bonus die for your fighting brawl.
Okay. 57. 45 or lower. Ooh, that is a 25.
So you just bring your hand up and you swing it down on a nearby table, and it's like throwing a tomato really hard on the ground.
Yeah, gross.
A weird, hairy tomato, and you just smash it as hard as you can on this table, and its lower body just kind of explodes outward. Its mouth is like still locked onto you as like the jaws have still tightened. It's not biting down any harder anymore, but it's still like locked onto your pinky. But it is dead.
Gross.
How many more of these things are coming in?
So, you guys very stressfully wait around for any more of these weird rat things to show up. You can see some more bottles getting knocked off, and then you guys are left completely alone. And a few minutes later, the power comes back on. The rats are gone.
I go back to Sutton. What was that?
What was what? I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
You didn't see the rats.
Help!
The rat human things.
Help! Get away from me. You're just gonna help! Help!
He's just calling for help right now.
And you have no idea how this works. You didn't hear the drumming sounds.
It's just a rock. It's just a stupid old piece of rock. What do you... Help! Please!
I think I punched him in the gut. Alright, maybe you don't know how this works. Maybe it doesn't do anything, but you didn't see the rats? Yelling for help is not going to help us here.
He's just kind of like holding his gut right now, and then the door bursts open. And there's campus security there with guns drawn, pointed at you two. You are currently standing over a coughing, somewhat slightly bruised Arnold Sutton. Stop! Stop right there. Turn around. Hands up slowly.
I put my hands up, but I am going to kind of tuck the amulet around the inside of my shirt on the way up.
Okay, so that is going to be a sleight of hand. Sleight of hand check, sir.
Oh my god, I still don't have sleight of hand, but it's worth trying. It's worth trying. Oh no, that's 84 over 10. That's pretty bad.
You hear another, stop! Hands up slowly, stop moving.
I put my hands up all the way.
Turn around slowly and face us.
I turn around.
Joe, you can feel the blood from your hand like slowly sliding down like your sleeve and getting kind of uncomfortable. And then you hear Arnold getting up. These men assaulted me and they stole university property. They barged in here and attacked me. And
This artifact doesn't belong in a museum. It belongs to Adam Backstrom.
We are here to return the amulet to Adam. I have notes that can prove it, and as far as assault goes, there are these... It seems you have an issue with a rat infestation.
you hear Arnold pipe up, a rat did not punch me in the stomach.
Nah, you fell, you remember?
You fell over and you hit the bookcase. A rat's not going to push that over.
Arrest, have these men escorted out right now.
I have proof that this amulet isn't his. We've been hired by Adam Backstrom to return it to him. And I, slowly bring down one of my hands and open up a trench coat to pull out a letter very slowly.
Okay, one of them grabs it and he opens it up, reads it. All right, you two, come with us right now. The necklace thing. And we'll get this sorted out. We'll call the police. We'll get this thing all sorted out. Professor, are you going to be okay? Do you need, he holds up his hand. He goes, just send somebody up here to clean up this mess. And he looks at you. I will be pressing charges. I will be pressing charges against you two for not only assaulting me, but breaking university property and damaging priceless artifacts.
You wouldn't be the first one to try to charge me with these things.
How many times have you done this? How many times have you attacked me and I just didn't know?
I look at the university guards and I'm just like,
You know when you go to bed and you wake up and something hurts like you slept on it wrong? That's a myth. That's all me.
That's me coming into your bedroom and beating you.
punching you once. Just a swift punch to the head.
Then I get out the window and I escape into the darkness.
All right. So one security officer stays behind with Professor Sutton, and the other two start escorting you out of the building. One guy looks down at your hand, Joe. He goes, he pulls out a handkerchief. Here.
Yeah, this guy over here bit me for no reason.
The professor?
Yeah.
It's odd.
I know, right? I don't want to press any charges because I'm a reasonable adult.
He bit me for no reason. Then rats showed up and just started going crazy. This university's nuts.
It'll be the first time this has happened.
Got rabid professors roaming the campus, just biting people.
Okay. I say nothing to that remark about the claim that the professor is what bit you. I do stare at Joe a little bit, like, what?
The professor's making up shit about us. We can make up shit about him.
2 against 1, I guess.
We yell louder.
Okay. We comply. We go with him.
Okay, so you have to hand the amulet over to one of the security guards.
I would prefer to keep this on my person. It's supposed to be delivered to Adam Backstrom. I've been hired by him to do this.
No, until we can get this thing sorted out and give it to me.
I hand it to him reluctantly.
So, yeah, they escort you guys out of the building, and as they are taking you over to the security office, you see a woman walking up past you. You guys have the picture there for her. Just gave that to you. She actually has a gun holster on, and she has a gun on.
Oh, is this Elizabeth Cano?
Yeah, there's Elizabeth Cano. Anyways, yeah, so she has hair that is white-ish looking, but she's not old looking. She has like this white and black striped waistcoat that she's wearing. And she's currently like holding some documents as she walks past you guys. And she stops and looks at one of the security officers.
So, what happened here? Oh, altercation with Professor Sutton. These two gentlemen came in and are claiming that this amulet is stolen. It belongs to one Adam Backstrom. You see her eyebrow kind of raises.
It was supposed to be delivered to him as per Adam's request, and I show her the letter too.
She takes it and she...
Actually, these two men are here at my request. This amulet actually does indeed belong to who they say it does. Could I trouble you to release them into my custody? Professor Cano, this is a little bit against I understand. But for being completely honest, Arnold is a shit. So he probably had whatever it was coming. Just a personal favor to me, please.
They look at each other and they look at you guys.
I look at the cops and back to her.
Yeah, of course. I mean, less paperwork for us, I guess. Good day. And they just kind of, a little bit confused, walk away.
I confused stand there. Wait, do they give the amulet back?
Yeah, they gave the amulet over to Kano.
So you two are working for Adam?
Yes. My name's Ben Harris, PI. This is Joe Wheatley.
Lisbeth Cano. I'm not exactly professor here at the university, but I am curating one of the exhibits. Backstrom's exhibit, actually.
The Armitage Exhibit, right?
Yes, exactly. You've heard about it.
I read about it, which reminds me that I have to go meet someone. Are you okay talking to her while I go meet up with a friend?
Yeah. I look at Miss Cano. Where should I have them meet us, Miss Cano, if we're going to have a conversation?
Well, I do have to get back to the exhibit. I was going to drop off some of these papers, but I guess this can wait. I'll be in the exhibit museum. It's actually just a little bit further south of us, right down here.
All right. Lead the way, Miss Cano. Joe, if you and your friend want to meet us there when you're ready.
Yeah, sure thing.
So, Joe, you head to the Aston Field House. And meanwhile, Ben, you follow Miss Cano to the University Exhibit Museum.
Okay.
As you guys are walking.
So how long have you been on this investigation?
About a day and a half now. It's proven interesting, Miss Cano.
I dare say everything since that last expedition has been very interesting.
She kind of fiddles with some keys and unlocks a room and opens it up to the Armitage Exhibit room. And inside, you see these different tables set out. You can see like ropes kind of running in between each different exhibit. It's a fairly large room too. About 80 foot by 80 foot room. It's a perfect square. And in there, you see these weird kind of blackish gray oil drum-like containers. There looks like there's 3 of them lined up. You also see what looks like a piece of human skin, like one complete piece of human skin, just laid out on the table. You see all these different kinds of jars, and next to one jar is an incisor, next to another jar is a canine, and another one has a molar, and then one has like this dried tongue, and like they're kind of like in that smashed between, like what you would put like the butterflies in, like that kind of frame.
Yeah.
And then you also see a bunch of different pictures of the expedition that they took. One of the pictures that catches your eye are these 2 stone slabs opposite of each other, like these raised up operating tables. And in each one of the slabs is like this carved out outline of a human being.
Like I said,
what is all this?
This is everything that we found on our last expedition in South America.
You didn't bring back the slabs?
No, they were too heavy to move, and Blair didn't want to damage them in any way. Better to record it for posterity's sake than to completely obliterate a world-shattering find, he said.
What about this skin?
Well, that was actually pulled out of one of those barrels. What we were finding was incredibly disturbing.
Explain.
Well, the skin itself was one whole complete piece. It was hollowed out. There's no sutures, no cuts, no sign of any kind of surgery, but it's just a completely hollow piece of skin. When we removed it from the barrel, it started to deteriorate rather rapidly. Another thing that we found when we pulled out, and she walks you over to another table that has like this long glass case, and you look inside, and you see all these different various like looking string things. It's once again like making up another human shape. This is a complete circulatory system that we found in one of the barrels. And everything else that we found in there just removed, but there was no cuts, there's no sign of any kind of removal process, just like it slid right off.
The barrels, were they... I guess, Tony, the barrels that I'm looking at, do they look ancient, or are they like oil drum barrels that they had used for storage?
They don't look ancient. They're very well preserved, but there's like no design, like what you would normally expect to find, like say like with a vase or any other kind of like container. Usually there's some kind of design on it. Like for Greeks, there's that picture thing, some kind of color or something to it that shows which kind of culture it came from. These have no discernible markings. They're just kind of this weird gray texture. They have a similar kind of look, almost kind of a cannonball iron to it.
Okay.
They have somewhat like some little ridges that run down the side of the barrel, and they have two handles on the top, and there's like a lid that's pushed inward and indented inward.
Do they look like they were manufactured in modern day 1920s?
It's possible that maybe somebody could have manufactured these, but you've never seen anybody make like a barrel like this.
So the question is, these barrels, they don't seem to be part of any ancient culture I've ever heard of. Did you find these in the cave?
We found these in the crypt, yes, and she points to some more of the pictures, and you see the crypt. It actually looks like an operating room from the pictures that you can see. You can actually see like there's like an observation deck behind the slabs.
At what point did Blair start displaying mental symptoms?
It all started after young William Armitage's death. It seemed to have somewhat rattled him.
How did he die?
The official story was a heart attack.
And going back over to Joe, you can see Stamp walking down in her kind of normal green pea coat, and she has her little beret on, and she is wearing a camera like kind of slung over her neck, and she has her camera and like a notepad stuffed into a front pocket and a pen like behind one ear, and she walks up to you. Hey Joe, how's it going?
I'm gonna say that before she came up, Joe's waiting for Veronica to show up. He does some first aid on himself, on his hand, so his finger doesn't fall off.
Yeah, just like go ahead and you're back to full.
Okay, I'll mark it down. Hey Veronica, it's been an eventful 40 minutes. Things have changed a hell of a lot since I last talked to you.
Yeah, seems like it. So you got any new leads or anything?
Kinda. How do you feel about, the supernatural?
She rolls her eyes. I think sometimes it makes a pretty good story, but, like, that's about it. Are you trying to say, like, there's some kind of weird culty shit happening around here?
I wouldn't be saying it if I hadn't seen it for myself. You know me. Things are getting pretty weird.
Yeah, no doubt. So, she pulls out a pen and, like, a paper. Do you have any official statement you want to make, or, anything you want to say?
Yeah, maybe later, but let's go meet up with my partner. He's talking to Miss Elizabeth Kano right now.
Oh, really? Shit, I couldn't even get an interview with her. All right, yeah.
Yeah,
this will be good. And as you guys are walking down to go to the museum exhibit, you hear a scream coming out from a building behind you guys. And there's a woman who's like running out of a building, just like screaming and yelling for help.
Is it the building that Elizabeth Kano's in, or was it where Arnold Sutton was?
No, it's towards where you guys met with Sutton. It's the building directly behind Sutton. It's the Jonathan Edwards Hall.
Stamp, we might have to go check this out really quick. This might be relevant to our case.
Hey, always run towards the screaming. That's where all the interesting stuff happens anyways.
That's what I like about you.
Alright, you guys head off towards there.
So what's the unofficial story?
Well, that's just the thing. I haven't been able to get it. I've been contacting Arkham General to get the autopsy report. I mean, he was only 22. How could he possibly have died from a heart attack from that? And the first thing that happened, too, when the workers ran out, was he was calling for help because Blair had had a heart attack. And then we come in and we find Blair holding Armitage and he's dead. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
This is all very interesting, Miss Kano. That amulet, does she still have the amulet or did she give it back to me?
She's still holding it. She's kind of like looking at it.
That amulet, I think, is relevant to a lot of things. There are, we'll call it forces, that are trying to get a hold of it. I think it's important that I hang on to it for now.
She looks at it. Well, it's not mine to keep anyways, so if you're giving it back to Adam, and she hands it to you.
Thank you. Tell me, have you heard any drumming or strange whispers?
No?
That's good. That means you haven't been closely involved.
What are you getting at here? Like, what are you trying to say that you just won't come right out and say?
I can't... It's not a good idea to tell people what I've encountered, what I've learned.
You're doing a lot of back and double talking. I just need you to get right to the point right now. Blair's my friend too.
All right. Do you have an open mind, Miss Kano?
Yes, I like to think that I do, especially after recent events.
I'm about to explain a lot of things to you that won't sound like they make sense. They will sound utterly insane. But if you have an open mind and you want to look at the evidence around you based on what you've discovered from that dig site, it might seem a little less insane.
She leans up against the table, crosses her arms. All right. Shoot. All right, going back over to Joe.
Back over to me.
Over to you, Joe. You and Veronica are running back towards the building where the woman came out of. Veronica just kind of like opens up the door and pushes her way through. So what do you think happened?
Nothing good.
Let's see here. I'm thinking... Let's see. And then she's wandering. You can see like there's a group of people huddled over close towards one door. She's like, I'm gonna go ahead and put money on that's where it happened.
It's a fair bet. Is it Arnold's office?
Like looking over at the plaque, yeah, you see like the door that's open, that kind of like frosted glass door. You do see, in reverse, you see Arnold's name on it.
Damn.
What are you so freaked out about? Come on. How bad could it be?
I follow her.
And as you guys look into the office, you see Arnold Sutton dead, hanging off of the back of the chair. And from the looks of it, he no longer has a spine.
Know how I was talking about that supernatural shit?
Uh-huh.
This is it.